Hey everyone! So I finally got to go to Epic Universe. I've been so excited for this for years and years, and it finally happened. So I want to tell you all about it, but I have to start with the ride that I've been most excited for, which is the Monsters Unchained ride. So I am a dark ride purist. Coasters don't do a lot for me, but I love dark rides. So when I saw that they were going to have all these animatronics in this ride, I knew I was going to love it already, and I tried so hard to avoid spoilers, and I did pretty good. I really didn't know very much at all, except for I saw that one teaser trailer that Universal released some time ago with some snippets of the animatronics, but I didn't know anything else besides that. I thought it'd be fun to share what my favorite things about this ride are, and maybe not so favorite, just so you're prepared for it. And be warned, there are going to be full spoilers in this ride because I'm too excited to hold anything back from you. As soon as you enter the portal, you feel really immersed in this world, this Darkmoor land. It's beautiful. They killed this. And I don't normally like scary stuff. I don't watch scary movies. I don't like any of that. But I like theme stuff, and I was like, I can tough it out. I'll be strong today. And they have monster hunters roaming around keeping the streets safe, so it's okay. So you see Victoria Frankenstein's manor from far away. You hear the Danny Elfman soundtrack that he created for this land in the background, and it's amazing. You go into the queue, and there's a lot of hidden details in the queue for you to find. So a lot of it is about Victoria's doing experiments to try to control all these monsters and bring kind of like honor back to her family name. You can see the original Frankenstein's body in there. You can see her great-grandfather's will, where he's saying something about maybe don't keep doing all these experiments, maybe chill out, but she's not having any of it. You can see notes about how she's trying to get things from the different monsters, why she needs all these different monsters and what she's learning about them. And there's a lot of electricity flowing through. There's a lot of sounds. It's amazing. And this ride also is really high capacity. They can just shuffle people through this ride really fast. So the wait times aren't really that long, which is amazing. Oh, and this pre-show, beautiful. So if you've seen the Beauty and the Beast ride from the Japan Disney parks, this is a little bit similar to that, where you're sitting there waiting for the pre-show, and all of a sudden animatronic walks out at you. But this one you can even see better than you can see Beast there. This is a full-on 8-foot tall Frankenstein just walks out and starts talking to you.
Show them. Everyone step down. Lower the lights quickly. Now.
And you believe it. You're like, okay, Universal just did that. So that sets the stage really well. And then you get on the ride. It's the same ride system as they use in the Forbidden Journey ride. So it's that Kuka arm, so you're on a bench that's on an arm, and it's moving you all about. This ride, I think, does it a lot better than the Forbidden Journey. I think it learned some things from that one. And the biggest improvement is no 3D glasses, and it has screens, but it's not screen reliant like that Harry Potter ride. This one is much more practical focused. So you get on the ride, and first thing you meet Igor, and then you round the corner, and then the monsters are unchained. So first thing you see is the Phantom of the Opera, and he's cool. He's really cool. He's playing the organ. There's flame shooting out, and you get to kind of wrap around him and see him from a couple different angles, and he turns to you, and you get a really good look at his face. That really sets the stage. And then you see Victoria, and then you see Dracula, who has no shoes on for some reason. And so if you ever wondered what Dracula's feet look like, boy, are you in luck. So you see Dracula, and then he lets all the other monsters loose, so then it's just chaos. And there are so many monsters to see, and they all kind of get their moment. So you see his brides, they kind of get a spotlight, then the werewolf, then the creature of the Black Lagoon, then the mummy, and you get to see them all really well. They're all doing different things. All these animatronics are very unique, and chef's kiss, these are the best animatronics that anybody has ever made, hands down. This Kuka arm system does such a good job of putting you face to face with the monsters, which is the best part for sure. One negative I have to say is, there's no 3D in this ride, and it's not screen reliant, but there still are a lot of screens in this ride, and Universal, we just didn't need them. These are the most beautiful screens you've ever seen. They're flawless. A lot of them are more just background, but there are some scenes that are kind of important, but just didn't need them. I would have rather just looked at a wall than look at these screens. It was a lot to look at visually, and I just wanted to see the animatronics or the castle. I feel like they They couldn't stop with the screens. And there's one part of the ride where there's a mummy sarcophagus that opens and there's projection mapping. I think that part works, but then there's projection mapping on kind of some of the stonework to go along with this effect, and that just didn't sell for me. I just didn't need that. I wish that had just been the stone and we just moved on. It was just too many effects. The practical stuff is working so well, just lean in on the practical. We don't need the other stuff. That's my opinion. The other negative I have to say is that these animatronics don't seem to really have a B mode, or at least I didn't see it when I was there. So the Phantom, he worked really well the first 2 times I rode the ride, but the next 7 times I rode the ride, he didn't move a muscle. He just limped. He would just limp at his organ, and probably like 4 of those times he didn't even have skin on his hand. You could just see his robot hand. And there was also, later on in the ride, there was a mummy animatronic that I never saw moved. I didn't even know that it was animatronic until I later watched a ride-through video and I saw it. I'm like, oh, that would have been fun to see. Because these animatronics are so important to the story and they all kind of have like their one big animatronic, you know, having them not even have a B mode, having them just limp, I feel like takes away from the story a little bit. So I kind of wish that they would not run it that way. Personally, if it's something that could be repaired in a reasonable amount of time, I would rather they just shut down the ride and fix it if one of these major animatronics is not functioning, and repair it, because you got to see the whole thing. But when they're operating, they're incredible, and I'm so proud of Universal for just going for it. The other negative I have to say is this ride is pretty rough. So I'm a person that's pretty prone to motion sickness, and Forbidden Journey really does a number on me. So I always have to take Dramamine, and I still don't feel awesome after I ride it. This one I do much, much better on, but it's still just a pretty rough ride. Now I love that the Kuka arm puts you face to face with the monsters, and I love how it navigates you through the catacombs in the ride. But I feel like because it's so rough and you spend so much time on your back and turn so aggressively, that it makes the ride kind of inaccessible. So my dad, for example, loves monster movies and scary movies, and I think he would love this attraction, but I would never let him ride it because I think that would kill him. Like, it's just too much. I think it's just too much, and I think that the ride could have still been incredible with just a little bit more toned down motion. You know, I don't dislike it, but it just, I would rather more people be able to experience this ride and enjoy it. And I don't think that the being on my back all the way and twisting that much made me like the ride more. I think seeing the monsters face to face and like being able to rotate around the scenes, I think that made me like the ride more. So overall, I'm still going to give this ride like 10 out of 10. This ride is phenomenal. Make sure you get on this ride when you're out there. Don't skip it. Ride it a few times. And I hope you have as much of a blast on this ride as I did. And I'll be back later and tell you about some of the other rides.